Our clients continue to extend run cycles between turnarounds, and so that puts a lot of pressure on them. As those turnaround cycles get longer, the consequences of performance loss and equipment degradation become more significant. This is where our team focuses its efforts. Our work centers on debottlenecking process trains, using a combination of IGS proprietary technologies and our field executed services. So these services would include Tube Tech, which is in some cases the remote operated vehicle for the online defouling of convection sections, or our plate jet equipment for defouling Texas towers. We also have the ability to install our patented SCR fine particle screens if that's an application that's giving you problems. We have C-Tech ceramic coatings. We have Hot Tech services. That's a whole family of online repairs that we can perform on live heaters in between turnarounds when you have even more years to worry about having failures in refractory or tubes coming off their hold points. All of these services will put you in a position to allow you to operate more efficiently and more safely. But today I want to focus on one specific issue that directly impacts heater performance, especially the metallurgical and thermal implications of what happens when you have external tube oxidation, in particular the radiant tubes. You see, in most downstream fired heaters, radiant tubes are constructed from a low alloy steel. Let's say they typically run from a 2 to a 9% chrome, commonly referred to in the industry P22, P9, P5, etc. Increasing the chromium content does improve oxidation resistance. However, all of these alloys will form iron oxide scale under just normal operating conditions. Even the 9% chrome alloys, which perform far better than 2.25 and 5, still develop magnetite scale. And that scale is ever present. Scale buildup negatively impacts your bridge wall temperature. It contributes to the operational bottleneck that many of us see after just a few years of service. Certainly, it reduces your reliability, and in severe cases will actually shorten your run length or your tube life. Now, in the higher chrome alloys, such as 5 and 9% chromium, those behave differently. The scale builds up different, meaning it's thicker, it's more adherent, it's porous, but this scale does not flake off easily. Instead, it acts as an insulating barrier. Now, as that layer grows, the resistance to heat transfer increases. So, to maintain your normal process temperature and throughput, operators must therefore increase their fire duty, turn up the burners. This drives a higher external tube metal temperature, and then now you're pushing yourself to the limits of design on your bridge wall temperature limits. Now, over time, this compounding effect, more heat, more oxidation, more scale, it does become quite problematic. And we can eliminate that entire scenario. Our crews at IGS have removed this type of scale from hundreds of fired heaters in the last 20 years across a wide range of process units. There's a difference between the measured surface temperature and the actual tube metal temperature when we do our infrared inspections. This is a common topic that we have discussed with customers. Infrared thermography measures the temperature of the oxide layer on the surface. It's not measuring the steel beneath it. In one documented case, we had, let's say, 15 mils of oxide on this tube, and we measured a surface temperature approximately 1262 Fahrenheit. But the actual metal temperature underneath it, which was measured by the thermocouple, was really only 1050, 1051. That's a difference of over 200 degrees F. And that's caused purely by the insulation effect of the oxide layer. Now, in another example, tubes were found with approximately 1.5 millimeters of external scale. Think 60 mils. Now, from a heat transfer standpoint, that's extremely costly. Think about a clean carbon steel tube has a thermal conductivity of roughly 16.8 BTUs per hour per square foot per Fahrenheit. So 16.8. Now, With that level of oxide buildup, that 1.5 millimeters, the effective conductivity drops in half. Now we're down to 8.7. This represents a significant reduction in heat transfer capabilities. You can't overcome that by turning up the burners. And back to my earlier comment, that's where CTEC ceramic coating eliminates that entire event over a decade of operation. So if you want years of stable operation, you want improved heat transfer, that's the way to stop the oxidation and the compounding effect. So in summary, external oxidation is not just a surface condition. It's not something to be tolerated in the headwinds of operational efficiency. This is a way that oxidation stops your heat transfer efficiency. It can give you misleading temperature readings, certainly puts you on the path to increasing firing, elevates your metal stress, accelerates tube wall loss. All of that is unnecessary by applying CTEC ceramic coatings because they're designed to minimize those effects over years of stable operation. Thank you for looking at this topic with me, and we think that a thermal audit would be appropriate. We'd be glad to come and do that.